Are airlines losing money? Beyonce tickets ain't selling.
Huh?
And who knew Shamea from the Real Housewives of Atlanta was the real peach?
Shh.
Let's get this party started. I bring the
I
zen.
bring
I
dopamine.
bring
I
zen.
bring dopamine.
Create zen.
Create dopamine.
Create
I said
zen.
create dopamine.
We another mother patio. Hey.
Another mother patio.
We another
Hey.
mother patio. Hey.
Another mother patio. Here
Here
we
we go.
go.
Here we go. Here we
Here we
go to the mother freaking
go.
show. Here we go. Here
But
we
here we
go.
go.
Hey. Get your coffee, okay? Get your tea. Get your life. Woo! I am your host, Lisa Renee, and my co-host is
The big black Aunt Wild, Aunt Wheezy, AC Daisy, as she says, and all
yeah.
the kinds of things.
We are another mother patio. Hey!
Hey!
All right, guys, let's get right into our inspirational quote for today. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. This was stated by Cummings. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. Let's talk about it, AC Basie.
Ooh, it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's deep. That's deeper than rap right there. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. Yeah. There's a lot of layers to that. Obviously, with our inspirational quotes, there's lots of layers. In this particular situation, this is something actually, it's still a, no matter how many days you are on earth, this is a constant, what do you say? This is a constant, I don't want to say, I don't want to use the word struggle, but you have to make sure you put things in place to constantly remind you of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because um, growing up and becoming part of who you really are, in that journey, there are a lot of changes. There's a lot of evolution that takes place. I never really got. I was I was in tune with the phrase fear of failure. I didn't. It only the last kind of year and a half, 2 years did I really become in tune with the phrase fear of success. It's a
Mm-hmm.
real thing. It's actually now that I really look back on it, and I'm going to try and explain my interpretation of fear of success, and it might not I may not do the best job or whatever, but in my head, I know what it means. I'm going to try and explain it to y'all because, that's what we do. We give game on this thing. Um, but as I look back, I realized the fear of success actually, in a lot of ways, overshadowed the fear of failure because, in a lot of situations, when you become a if you when you accept that failure is just part of the game, right? It doesn't even mean you failed. It just means you got knocked off a little bit. People may label it a failure. It just means you got knocked off a little bit. Oh, dang, I got caught. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, my mouth was open type thing. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, oh. Life get to jabbing and hitting you rights and lefts. Oh, 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 oh. Boom, bam. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't have my guard up. My mouth was open.
Go ahead,
So, bam, boom,
boop, ah,
you
boop,
know,
boop, boop, boop.
so yeah, follow up.
Life will do that.
So when you get hit in the face, when you kind of accept that, and it takes a journey to accept that, like it really does. Like, it takes a journey to accept that that's part of the game. So once you accept that, if you find that you're still kind of in a rut or maybe not moving as fastly as you would like, then it's kind of a thing like, okay, well then what is it? And then what happens is if you truly adopt the mindset and say, okay, this is the path I'm going to go on. This is what success looks like for me, so forth and so on. When you become more in tune with that, you cut out a lot of the BS.
I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying? You cut out of a lot of things that don't fit into what you're doing.
Yeah.
And guess what happens when you make that decision? When you make that decision,
Hey,
you know what
bud,
I'm
in the
saying?
background. Thanks.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Thanks for
yeah.
coming
No,
in the
that's
mail of our
Twizzle.
damn
That's my
show.
man
Way to
Twizzle.
go.
That's my guy
Yeah, I
Twizzle.
don't give a
That's
damn what
my
you're
man
doing at. Why,
Twizzle
who
Dizzle.
cares if you're
You know.
filming the show? I'm just gonna walk
Hey,
behind you in
hey,
our
hey,
set.
hey,
Thanks,
hey,
dude.
walking in. Hey, listen. Hey, look, he live here too. You know what I'm saying? What am I saying? Get out. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? You know
get
what I'm saying? Hey, listen, the show must go on. Hey, y'all know how we do it. We keep it real around this thing. Hey, my man
okay.
walk. Hey, pause. My guy walked through here. You know what I'm saying? That's Twizzle Dizzle. That's my guy. My Ace Boone Cone right there. Um, when you make that decision, a lot of times the people that are affected the most are the people that are closest to you
Ooh.
because you realize in a lot of ways their thought process, their mentality does not align with yours. And when that happens, that's when the decisions come hard. For me, that's when fear of success really became a reality. When I really started making certain decisions within myself, I'm like, oh, that's what that is. Because in that road to success, you might be dropping off those that are in your closest circle because they may not align. And spirituality and energy and tuned into the universe and all those kinds of things are very real things. The more you become aware of it, the more sensitive you are to it, and the more you recognize when it does not align.
Yeah.
And that for me was an enormous, like, holy S. This is what that is. So it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. I equate that with that, right? It's that I didn't understand what fear of success was. I used to say, yeah, fear of success. But in my head, I'm like, what are they talking about? Why would I fear being successful? Oh, because in a lot of ways, those that are closest to you that aren't in alignment with how you're proceeding forward, they may not get it, right? It's not even that they got to do what you got to do. They just may not get it.
Yeah.
And so as a result of them not getting it, they may project their limitations on you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're somebody, hey, look, Erica Badu, whew, don't get me started on that woman. Erica Badu said it best. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my
That part.
and that is real. Like, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about mine. And again, the more you become in tune with it, the more sensitive you realize you are. And that's okay. I mean that in the best people in the world are. If you wonder why the best people in the world, especially people you admire, when they stay in a certain thing, their circle, they ain't out here running with every Tom, Dick, and Harry and all this kind of stuff. Even if you see them out a lot, I tell people this all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people this all the time. They'd be like, "Oh man, you got hella friends." I'm lucky enough to have a circle that is a wider circle than most. I am very lucky in that. I take a lot of pride in that. I am very grateful, all those things. But even within that, you see me saying what's up to a lot of people. You don't see me introducing you to a lot of people. If I introduce you to somebody, more often than not, there's a reason I'm introducing you to that person. You know what I'm saying? If I'm going out of my way to say, "Hey, look, this is such and such," because you would have heard about him in some sort of story. You would have heard, you know what I mean? There's you see me say what's up to a lot of people. You don't see me hang every time you see me, you still see me with the same group of people. That's on purpose. That's not on accident. You don't see me out with different crews and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not on no new friend stuff, X, Y, and Z. No, we need to be more collaborative more than ever at this point in time. But the reality of it is um, growing up is realizing where your skin really lies.
Mm-hmm.
And in that process, there could be some unfortunate, even if you don't fully eliminate people, your availability just may not be what it once was. And they might have a hard time with that. And so then you may have to make a decision on how you then want to proceed forward in dealing with that. So this is one I can spend all day on for real because these are happening every day. Literally, it's an everyday thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, with the closest to us, me and Lisa Renee were just talking about that literally before we got on. In that regard, if you will. So take from that what you will. if you're struggling, if you're on the fence and you're like, I want to go for it, but because there's a lot of eliminations,
Right.
subtle ones. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Subtle ones. Um, you know, subtle eliminations just to keep you productive. Doesn't mean you got to cut out everything, but there are subtle eliminations that you just have to do better use of time type stuff because again, we are the oldest and the youngest we will ever be right now.
Mm.
So, again, take for that what you will, but this this is a very good one.
Mhm.
It resonates because again, there are a lot of decisions that need to be made if you want to go down a certain path, and a lot of those times that was the realization for me. A lot of those times, those decisions come with the people that are in your closest circle.
I agree.
Uh, so you know, take
Yeah.
that for what you will, soak it up, but it's a real thing. It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. Lisa Renee, what you got to say?
Well,
Ooh,
first of
that
all,
rhymed.
first of all, I think that was awesome. Thank you so much for that. The beautiful thing of having a man and a woman on this show, we're able to give those two perspectives from those different side points. Aunt Wow is truly a man rocking that red today. And I literally, as much as I'm a businesswoman, Aunt Wow knows this. I love being a woman. I love being girly. I love staying in my feminine place. And so I'm going to give you another side of the perspective. First of all, I want to take a step back and say, what's up, Vegas? I feel like the Lord is shining
Stunting
the
out here,
light on
stunting.
me. Got my coffee this morning as a flight attendant. They got me out in Vegas, and it's really awesome because obviously we don't film the show in the same state, but this is probably the closest we've gotten, right? Because he's out in
Yeah,
the Los Angeles area and I'm in Vegas, and so we feel like we're close, but about 4 hours away, right?
for sure.
Which
Hop
is
in the
really
car
not bad.
about four strong.
If we were able, y'all, to drive 2 hours and had the time to do it, we would do it. But kind of like he's saying, it takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. When you're trying to do multiple things, which means you're trying to change and you're trying to evolve, is truly when you are growing up and you're becoming who you really are. And I think for me, the process started last year. I started to talk to Aunt Wow, my son, and people really close to me about my mental health, about concerns I was having. What did I want to do with the rest of my life, where I was kind of at. And now I'm realizing I was just growing up because as an actress, we are constantly auditioning. I want to get this, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. And then my guardian angels, the universe, somebody had to remind me the very first name of my company, which again, that's how long Ace and I have been friends. The first name of my company was an acronym TSIMOH. That's my PayPal for anybody that wants to send anything. I'll take a blessing. TSM.
Bars.
And those initials, we pronounced it Sim, if you remember back then.
Yep.
And it was called taking in my own hands. Hence my logo, right?
Mm.
And so I had to be reminded who I was and why did not I do certain things to really take things in my own hand. Don't get me wrong, you guys are probably saying, Lisa, you've done a lot of things. Yes, but I've done a lot of things under other people's umbrella. You understand what I'm
Bizarres.
saying? There were a lot of solo things that I did do from an entrepreneurial, but I still was on that side of wanting to get approval from other people in areas, thinking that that would get me to the next level. When I got the courage, because it takes a lot of courage for something that I'm about to do that we cannot announce, but it's coming very soon. It takes courage to grow up and become who you are, who you really are. It takes courage to take your whole life in your hands and say, I am going to do this my way, my way. Remember that? So, and I think, everyone gets this at different times and different parts in your life and how you find success. I don't think any journey is wrong. I think every journey I have taken or done has led me up to this place. However, if you could grow up sooner, hint, hint, to those that are a little bit younger, do it. If there's something you want to do, you aspire to do, just do it. Don't even worry about all the pieces of the puzzle. And what I mean by all the pieces of the puzzle, how am I going to get this financing? How am I going to get this money? How am I going to get this? How am I going to get this? How am I going to find time? Don't even worry about that. Just take one step at a time towards whatever that is. And
Right.
that is you growing up. Because until you do that, you're not going to define and see the life I feel you are truly able to live. Hence why a lot of artists are complaining about things in the industry. You know why? Because they're on that side that I was on, still wanting, I need you to, I need you to,
Yeah.
I need you to. When you get to this other side, like the Jay-Z's of the game or the 50 Cents of the game, people who kind of said, I'm going to take my career in my own hands and I'm going to do it this way. Beyonce was under her father, which was, again, that's a good start. But then there was a time she had to break separate. I have to do this in my own way, on my own terms, so that way I can truly grow up. And that takes a lot of courage to do that.
For sure.
To break off from managers, to break off, even when you're living with your parents and say, it's time I move out and get my own place. That is you taking the courage to become who you really are.
Facts.
And I'm here to tell you, like Ace say, we could be here all day. This is really deep.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It is scary. I'm going to tell you, when you becoming who you really are, it is scary. Some people will be threatened by it. Some people will not understand it, which is why Aunt Wild is saying that some circles have to be departed. I have a person in my life now. I keep our conversations very short.
Yep.
Because I have to protect my energy.
Yep.
And I know that although her energy means well, her energy is negative.
Yep.
And if I drain my energy with this person, then I'm not going to have the energy to become who I really am. My life is about me. My life is about me. And if I don't take charge of my own life, like you have to take charge of your own life, you will not see the full potential that you can gain and become.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have to start somewhere. You have to fall. You have to get slapped around sometimes. You have to sometimes, I did a production, was it last year or some? I did a production maybe about a year or two. I can't even remember it right now because I had to remove a lot of things when I grew up. But I didn't even get paid for it. I thought I went in thinking I was going to get paid for it.
Yeah.
And that was a wake-up call to say, I can't keep doing this. I can't.
Nope.
I am too talented to be working for free. Now, I'm not saying working for free is bad, but I'm not doing that at this age anymore. I did that in my 20s. I'm not working for free.
Right.
If I give you a valuable skill set, I am reliable to show up when you have me at rehearsals, and I give you 100%, then compensate me.
Yeah.
And the beauty of me going through that process reminded me that, Lisa, if you ever do something, always take care of your people. Even if I have to, and I always have. I remember my dancers. One time, the promoter did not pay us, and I paid them out of my check. And one of my dancers, Maria Hernandez, shout out to her. She says, no.
Shout out to Maria. Oh, Maria. I hope you watch this, Maria. Maria is awesome.
Maria said, you will not pay me. If you don't get paid, I don't get paid.
Maria.
And that's why that's my girl to this mother freaking day.
Yeah, Maria is the bomb. I hope she watches this. She is the bomb.
Me for anything.
Yeah, Maria is awesome. Maria is the bomb.
I'm going to do it.
Maria is the bomb.
It was in a terrible time where she saw me about to go upside. I listen, my friends will tell you, they just seen me go upside a 6'6" guy when you play about my money. Now, thank God, God has worked with me to learn how to deal with business better. But when I was a teen and you try to play me on my money, I'm about to go upside your head. And in my 20s, when I went to college, I was the same way because I learned in this game when you be the nice, kind girl, it doesn't always work. I am actually the me in my natural zone. I am one of the nicest people you could ever meet.
Yeah.
If you try to play me, you're about to see that other side come out of me. But I've learned now how to restrict and restrain myself. But Maria saw me in that state, still loved me. And as I'm writing checks out to my dancers, I'm crying, I'm upset to have a friend to say, no, nah,
nah,
nah, nah, I'm not taking your money. Because
yeah,
I'm taking money out of your child's mouth.
yeah,
She said, I'm taking money out of Angel. I love Angel too much. I'm not taking money out of your hard working. We were supposed to get paid for this show. You were going to pay us out of this show. And I'm not going to take your hard working regular 9 to 5 job. I'm not taking it. And so those are the people that
those are
get
the
it.
people.
And when she sees me make this announcement, she'll probably cry because she'll say, finally, she got it.
Mm-hmm.
But don't underestimate the journeys that you take. All of them are a lesson for you. And I feel like that show that I didn't get paid, God bless that director and producer. I still love her the same, but I hope she does pay me today, tomorrow, soon. She still owes me. I'm just being very honest.
Hey, listen.
I still love her. I would never down her.
You delinquent. You got
still
them
want
ends.
my money. There's an invoice out waiting for you.
You delinquent. Got them ends.
Still love her so much. But at the end of the day, that probably happened for God to push me and where I'm going.
For sure.
He's been pushing Ace and I. We've been friends for a long time. We've done a lot of projects, guys. If you're new joining me, go look at some of the videos way back. You'll see him. That's him. The younger him, before he was gray.
Before I was gray. The brother's so great today. Man, is a brother great today.
Early, guys. So this gray is not age. This is, you'll have to talk about that. It is not because of age. No. Because it's genetic actually from your mom, right?
Both. I got it from both sides.
Yeah.
My mom and dad started graying before they was 30. So I didn't stand no chance.
So you see what I mean? So it's not that, but that's how long our friendship is going. But then there came this point, and he saw it firsthand because I can only talk to really Ace about certain things because he gets it. And they were born on the exact same day. You don't
that's crazy.
That, right?
Yeah,
so we're very similar in a lot of ways, but very different too. And that difference is an offset to help us both grow.
Right.
And I truly feel that. But he started to see like, she's finally got it. She's finally got it. Right. And so I encourage you guys, when you're feeling scary, to try something different. Take it from E.E. Cummings. You're actually becoming who you really are. Yep. Take a bet on you. Yep. You understand what I'm saying? Take a chance on you. And your home mat, when you go into your house, guess what my home mat say? It says root for your damn self. Okay.
No, that's right.
F a like, a follow. Sure, we like the views. Sure, we like them, but you have to like. You got to subscribe. You got to view the you first.
Yeah, that's right.
And until you do that, nobody else can jump onto that bandwagon until you do that. So, guys, we hope you got something out of this. Ace, can you go ahead and host the health? Because I've been talking a little bit. Do you mind going to the alternate day fasting?
The alternate day fasting. So I was just looking at that.
Because some people, I've tried it. Let me know when you get it up. I've actually tried alternate day fasting. I want to talk about it because fasting right now, there's just a lot going on. My points were highlighted if you wanted to do those. It's a lot going on right now with fasting, but I wanted to talk about alternate day fasting, and I want to talk about my experience with it. Ace, let me know when you're ready to take over.
Yeah. You ready? Go with your experience first, because all right.
So my experience with alternate day fasting, I talked to one of our captains, one of the pilots, from Delta about alternate day fasting. He gave me a trick. So I'm going to teach you the trick. I don't do it now. And I'll explain that maybe after ACE, or I can even explain it now. But he said, eat every day at 4 o'clock. He said, if you do it that way, you're eating every day. So it's really like you're only eating like an OMAD in a sense, he says. But if you start your fast in the middle of the day, instead of starting it when you wake up and you feel like all day I can't eat, he said, if you do it in the middle of the day, it'll work a lot better because really, technically, every day you will eat. He was so right. That was the only way it worked for me. And it did work. I'm not going to lie. It worked good. I was dropping weight, and then you just stop, for some reason,
yeah,
you're
I
like,
was just about to say.
yeah, I'm kind of over it. You know what I mean? I want to eat. I want to wake up in the morning and eat when I
Yeah.
eat.
I'm a
Um,
breakfast person. I like to wake up and get me some breakfast.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing that I got from it is that I think the only way you can conquer weight loss, and I'm learning that you guys know that I'm doing Noom. I haven't been able to give you a weight update this week just because I've been traveling as a flight attendant. Until you learn how to normalize every day, you can do the fasting, you can do all that or whatever. And we'll talk, while we'll go into all the benefits of it because it is really good. But I think we have to just normalize eating normal, eating our breakfast, our lunch, our dinner, the portion controls with it, and calling it a day. I
Yeah.
think whenever you're trying to do all these different things, it's always going to throw you out of sync to a certain degree. You're also going to be hindered when you go to parties and places and things. Like one lady was like, she was in first class and she's like, I'm intermittent fasting. If I wasn't, I would eat the whole basket. So here you are, you pay 3 to 4 grand for a first class ticket, and we got a free meal with steak, chicken, prawns, and girl, you can't eat it.
I'm eating it.
Life shouldn't even be like that.
Yeah, I'm
You
eating it.
understand what I'm saying? So if we just learn how to normalize eating and learn how to eat normal, then we don't have to put the strain in. So that was what I took out of it. But let's talk about alternate day fasting. If you got good stories about
Yeah, well,
alternate day,
so
drop that in the comments. So please.
yeah, for real, for real. And it is so speaking of, we had this conversation. My guy Twizzle, who just walked
Mhm.
through, Antoine Lee Alderson, at like almost about a year ago now, was telling me about because he had did a 48-hour fast and
Mm,
then a 24-hour fast. And I've heard from a few people like if you it kind of like resets you, if you will,
yes.
right? Because your body kind of, I mean, you're gonna be hungry, but your body just kind of gets rid of everything, and then you reintroduce it. You have to reintroduce it a certain way. You can't do 48-hour fast and then go get a steak or something. Your body is gonna be
Right.
terrible.
Right.
You're gonna have to reintroduce it with nuts and fruits and things like that. It's almost like if if you're in a certain age bracket and you have to go get a colonics or anything like that. Um,
Oat milk.
you have to make sure your body's empty, and then when you reintroduce it, it's all those kinds of things. So your body will drop the um the excess, and you will start to see it. It's just like somebody who did a raw diet, uh like my best friend did a raw diet. Like he did like 3 years, like for Lent. So like for 40 days he only ate raw food, nothing cooked, nothing processed, just raw food, grapes, raw nuts, nothing. I mean, and you lose a lot, but you gotta pay attention because sometimes you don't want to be unhealthy. Like the second or third time you did it, I was like, yo, this wasn't like a healthy look. Like it didn't look good.
Right. Right.
So yeah, the alternate day fasting. Well, my boy Jason Catarini, my man's Okinawa, he had told me about. So it's funny that your pilot said 4 because he said it was kind of the alternate day fasting, but his was concentrating. I don't know what your people's beliefs are, but he was saying you eat at his was at 3. You only eat one time a day,
Okay.
and you only eat meat. And
Oh,
I'm like, that's
carnivore.
that's it. Yeah, he was just like, you just eat meat because your body's taking all that protein, storing all that protein, X, Y, and Z, and then it's kind of like getting rid of it because protein is a big fuel. That's what people get it twisted too when it comes to fasting. Protein is a fuel. Your metabolism is just like anything else in your body. You need fuel. So in order for it to work properly, you need to feed your metabolism. You just can't feed it no BS. right? You got to feed it good stuff. So if you feed it good stuff, that's going to actually speed up your metabolism. Like, my queen would say, like, when we would be on a good meal,
Right.
over 4 or 5 days, and she'd be like, "Oh, I just ate. Why am I hungry?" And she was like, "I just ate like, hour and a half, 2 hours ago. Why am I hungry?" I said, "Because we're eating well. So now your body is taking all that energy and
Yeah.
using it to burn to fuel your metabolism, and now your
Yeah.
metabolism is running through that.
Yeah.
So if the alternate day fasting is because it is a little extreme, you got to eat once a day, if depending on how you do it, then the intermittent fasting windows definitely work. Also, I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
Um I still kind of loosely do it. I try and do it
Yeah.
loosely each day, loosely,
Yeah.
right? If I eat at 8, I
Mm-hmm.
try not to eat till like 10 a.m. the next morning, right? That's pretty much that's a 14-hour intermittent fasting. I'm not saying it's every single day that it happens that way, but
Right.
I try and make it happen that way. And in that time frame, one of the more stringent intermittent fastings is 18 hours of eating, 16 hours off. So that's what a lot of athletes do, especially like fighters,
Yeah.
or like Hugh Jackman. Like when he was the reason why he originally retired from the Wolverine series is because it's so much on your body. I mean, you're healthy, but it's a lot on your body. You have to eat like so much protein within that time. Like, you eat like 7,000 grams of protein. Like that's a lot of food that you eat in that
Yeah.
time. Now you're eating well, but you got to eat a lot in that time frame. And then, the next 16 hours, your body uses it, stores it, does what it needs to do. And then, obviously you're exercising and all those kinds of things. So, I mean, it'll shred you up, but it's a lot. So if you want to do something like that, that also works as well. Pick your time frame. If you wanted to do um, I've done that too, like on a dry January. When I've done a dry January, I did a
Mm-hmm.
dry January for like 6 years. I haven't done it the last couple of years. Oh,
I'm doing dry March right now, so I'm actually dry March.
yeah, yeah,
Imagine
I've
being
done a
in
dry
Vegas
January for
sucks.
like 6, 7 years, and I didn't do it the last couple of years. Um, Only because I just kind of modified what I was doing during that time. But
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't do. I've done it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but even with that, like I've done that. I did that like 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, I did lose a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know if I was giving myself enough because I also got really sick too. So it was kind of one of them things. So you just have to be careful. Do what works for you. Don't kill yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but the intermittent fasting, definitely, if you do right during the time, it doesn't even mean you got to cut stuff off. You just can't be eating a whole bunch of crap. But if you, like Lisa said, portion control, you eat your meals, X, Y, and Z. Even if you don't want to do the 16, but do like a 14, heck, you can even, one of my boys, shout out Ricky Glenn, he's doing 12-hour ones. And
You
he
can
was
do
like,
12. Yeah.
yeah, he said
Easy
he had
way to
already
start.
lost like 10 pounds doing it. So, is if you have structure within it, your body will respond. Alternate day fasting, I've never done it. I have, like I said, my boy told me about it. It does work for sure.
It
Um,
does. I'll
like
read
I said,
about the
even if you want
trials
to try
too.
and do raw, Tanet, shout
Yeah.
out to Tanet, he did raw. I wouldn't do it for 40 days, but if you do it for like 4 or 5 days, and
Yeah.
then like if you start off maybe your month, even 3 days, if you will, or a day, even,
Yeah.
right? Like, but you definitely want to interject some of these things. One of my old neighbors who lived upstairs, she used to compete. So she used to do like the she wasn't the bodybuilder, but what's the other one? Like swimsuit, like you're fit, but you're not like
Oh,
a
pageant,
bodybuilder.
like beauty pageant.
Beauty pageants.
Oh,
You know
okay.
what I'm saying? So I used to ask her about stuff all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the stuff that we're talking about is what she said. She was like, "Yeah, you just gotta limit your sugar. You don't have to." I
Right.
mean, she was like, "I'm eliminating sugar because every single thing." But somebody did like you. You're healthy. You work out.
Yeah.
You pay attention to what you eat. Just be mindful of the sugar. Try and have more natural sugars as opposed to the sweet and lows or whatever. Because ironically, not to
Poison.
diss, but there's more stuff in there than there is in the actual, like, if you go get some organic sugar or whatnot. So you just portion controls. If you have yourself on some sort of fast or regimen, your body will respond. Um,
To
your
that.
body will respond.
Let me
So
let me read about
very, very, and there's a lot of benefits. Blood sugar level, everything. There's a lot of benefits to it.
Let me read about this trial. So there was an ADF trial that was done. They experienced a caloric restriction of around 35% by doing this and lost an average of 7.7 pounds. And it was a 4-week trial. The
Yeah,
health benefits were inflammation reduction, so
huge,
which is huge.
huge.
Um, Especially for me as a flight attendant, you want inflammation reduction. So, like I said, it worked really, really good. They also had lowered their levels of a thyroid hormone that I cannot even pronounce. If you can, go for it, Ace, without experiencing any problems with their thyroid function. And you need your thyroid to be functioning well for your body to function properly. Additionally, the ADF group had a lower level of cholesterol and they reduced their trunk, aka your belly fat.
Yes.
By actually, I know this one girl, she talks about it all the time. She has a YouTube channel, African American girl. A lot of people might know her. I wish I knew your name, but she's really big on ADF. Furthermore, the ADF group experienced an upregulation in ketone bodies, which researchers consider a health benefit on both the fasting days and non-fasting days. So basically, their body was in ketosis, whether they were fasting or not, based on them doing the alternate day fasting. And you know, if your body is in ketosis, that's when it's ripping, it's starting to burn. And so I am doing a dry March. It probably is not the best idea if I knew I was coming to Vegas, because we all come to Vegas to drink.
I'm
Yeah.
about to say,
But
I'm getting my
but
drink. Oh,
one of my favorite drinks, even before I was doing dry March or any of that, is always a club soda with lime. So honestly, I enjoyed myself at the casinos just doing my club soda and lime. Do I feel different doing the dry March? I don't. I'm not gonna
yeah,
lie.
that's the thing.
I don't. People said maybe it'll happen in about 2 weeks. I don't feel anything different by not having alcohol. I'm just
Yeah,
being,
that's the thing. Like I was talking to one of my friends about
yeah,
that, and she was like, "I know you've done it. Like, how did you?" And I said, "Yeah, I've done it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I've done it. Like I said, I did it six. I think it was 7 years in a row. Like in
yeah,
January, I would do a dry one. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
no drinking, no nothing X, Y, and Z, and it's cool. You know what I mean? But like, it wasn't like this big old thing. You know what I
Drastic
mean?
change,
Like,
right?
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have problems or anything like that. So maybe that's why, like,
I
we're
think
not,
that's why, because we're
yeah,
not
we
big
don't have issues.
alcoholics.
So if we
Yeah,
had an issue or something, then maybe there might be a difference. But yeah, me and you, we don't have no issues. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's a
yeah.
very social thing. We'll have a
It is a
drink and
very
go on and
social.
do it moving. So
Mhm.
in our cases, I'm not saying that for everybody,
Right.
but for our cases, I could see why you would say that because that's how it was for me. It was like, yeah, it wasn't really, you know.
I don't, yeah, I really don't. And I'm not saying don't do it. I don't feel a difference of it. But what I did realize, and maybe this has helped going back on alcohol, I will probably stick with wines, red wine, because the polyphenols. And then if I went to like a liquor or spirits or something like that, I would stick with the whites. So probably
Yeah,
like a vodka
yeah,
instead
I
of the
will say
darks.
that.
Yeah.
Good call on that.
Mhm.
When going back, you do go back more measured. I will say that.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So maybe that enlightening came to me. Okay, if you're going to go back, find the healthier ones to kind of go back, because our liver is taking a cleaning. And I think that's the good thing I'm feeling, that my liver is taking a cleaning. And so every month for the rest of the year, I kind of want to cut one thing out, but not make it a severe thing, because again, I feel like, it's about modifications, about small changes, so you can do things that you can live with. And by cutting them out the month, that doesn't mean I'm never going to have it. It's just saying for this month, I'm going to detox those things out of my system. And so I'm
Right.
kind of leaning into you guys. And if y'all have suggestions, let me know. But I think I'm leaning in on April to cut out bread. But then here we go with Easter. But that's right, right. I picked the right month to cut out the wrong things. But I'm thinking bread, and that would be all bread. So we're talking pancakes, waffle, and I am a pancake waffle girl. But again, it's just for a month, right? It's not forever, just to kind of see what the body does. But I haven't made the final decision on that, but that's kind of what I'm leaning into.
Yeah, bread is as I've gotten older, bread has become an interesting one. I wouldn't have any, I don't want to say wouldn't have any because I love bread. Let me
Yeah.
not get to lying. But it wouldn't be a huge thing. I've done that. Like I say, in my dry
Mhm.
Januaries, I've cut out a lot.
Right.
And then even throughout times I've cut out bread. But as I've gotten older, as I've evolved, I don't even like the phrase gotten evolved. As I've evolved through life, my body has evolved also. And there's a certain dependence. I don't want to say the word dependency, but my system processes stuff differently. And bread helps with that processing
Okay. That makes sense because
for
people
me.
eat crackers sometimes to help with the
Yeah, it helps
stomach.
coat things
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that, things stay together when they travel, as opposed to everybody go your separate ways. You want things together. You want things binding.
This boy's a
Otherwise, it'll
mess.
mess up your lining. You know what I'm saying? Like
You want to hope things keep things together because
you,
this one is a mess. We're going to have to talk about history one day, but we're
yeah.
about to get into your favorite part of the show, in the know, what's going on in the major news. We're going to kick off the show talking about that hairdresser who dragged that 15-year-old girl by her hair for not paying her, guys. So here is basically the scoop. So this
Wow.
hairdresser, she's from my hometown, Washington, D.C. Whoop, whoop.
Oh
Y'all come
Lord.
at me, but I'm gonna give her a whoop whoop. I'm gonna give her a whoop whoop because this girl owns her own shop at 18. And she's been doing it from what I know, like 15. So I'm like, you got to give this girl, I don't even know how she got a shop. I'm like, how she have a shop at 15?
Wow.
What is going on? But the fact that she has the business, I give her a whoop whoop. This young girl could be doing 1,000 other things, but to have her shop at 18, that's pretty bomb. And that's a lot of people from DC. We do have that mindset. We're gonna go big or we're gonna go home. So I give her ups for that. But basically, the 15-year-old got a cute little ponytail done. But then she said she sent, if you guys don't know the story, she sent the Cash App to a different person. So now $150, I'm already out of $150. I don't have $150 to give you. The hairdresser got upset because it appeared like the girl was starting to run out of the shop. And the girl did what most people probably do if you from Southeast, Northwest DC. This is what we do. We about to hence why I told you I jump up on people. When I was younger, you know what I mean? Because why you again playing us about our money, folks in DC? We not playing you about we got, come on now, stop playing with people money when they provide a service. Now, to the hairdresser, to her defense, she did not know the girl was 15 years old. She said, I had no idea she was 15 years old. All I knew at that point is this fool is trying to run out the door, and I'm saying fool, not like the little girl's a fool, but that, you know what I'm saying, in that mindset,
Yeah,
like this fool about to try to run out
that's
the
what her
door.
thinking
Her
was.
thinking was, I'm about to drag you and drag this ponytail right out your hair. If you think you're gonna walk out your hair, she even told another person in the shop, give me them scissors, because I'm about to cut this ponytail out of her hair. You're not about to walk out my shop looking cute. We're gonna cut it, and you're gonna walk out of the shop with a half ponytail. Listen, y'all gotta say that girl, she ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? Sister, give me the scissors. You're not about to walk
Wow.
out. And but what was going on? The little girl was calling her mom. Her mom ended up calling the police on the hairdresser. The hairdresser had this happen to her years ago. And we got to think about post-traumatic stress syndrome. I'm not trying to give her um the benefit of the doubt, but there's a video of a 30-year-old woman not trying to pay this young girl when she was 15 and started fighting her. And there literally a video. So I think when this happened, the 18-year-old had a little bit of that post-traumatic stress syndrome. This already happened to me one time. So I'm going to start fighting because I know how this goes. And you see this video of this 30-year-old woman beating on this 15-year-old girl. And the 15-year-old girl, like she coming in and she's fighting. It wasn't the way to handle it when you run a business, no. But A, she's 18 years old. She's going to have to grow. She's going to have to understand business because unfortunately, legally, the parents are taking charges against her now because
Yeah.
now she is a business owner. And I would say I'm glad it's happening to her at a younger age so she can learn how to do things going forward. Hopefully they'll just give her a little penalty she have to pay and a little smack, on her hand. She also, the other thing where the hairdresser went wrong, if you're not familiar with all the pieces of the story, she ended up charging the girl's card that she had on file for the hairdo. So if you get a card from people, if they want to walk out, fine. charge that daggone card. But the
Yeah.
hairdresser did say, yeah, but sometimes you can try to charge that card and they blocked it. So
Yeah.
you got to understand she was reacting in a moment of this has happened to me before. I got to do what I have to do. The little girl's sister did speak out and say my little sister was wrong for trying to run out. However, as a business owner, you should not be dragging anybody out. But what people have to understand, this is my last point I'm going to say, is you really don't know what you're going to do until you're in the situation. You
Yeah.
really, I have never, ever want to go up upside somebody's head. But when people put you in compromising positions and you haven't learned self control or you haven't learned conflict resolution and all those things, sometimes you just go reactively based on your instincts. So I really believe that the mother has to teach the daughter, do not leave. Let the woman know this is what's going on. She needs to teach her daughter, do not try to walk out of the establishment when you know you haven't paid for it. That's a lesson the mother needs to teach the 15-year-old. And the hairdresser needs to learn, I am running an establishment. Everything I do, say, or act in this social media time frame will be recorded and can be utilized against me. And so, and I felt bad because the younger hairdresser also spoke to the shade room, you guys, and she was just like, this is why I don't want to be in this business. And I don't want you to quit, honey. If you see this video, do not effing quit because of this situation. Use this situation, learn from this situation, and you capitalize on that moment because people need to stop going into establishment and trying to take advantage of people. It happens way too much times. I watched a video of these two, the couple came and started taking grass out of these people's front yard because they didn't pay for it. Stop trying to get things for free. There was another lady, got her hair braided, but when the lady was braiding her hair, she saw a text message that said, I ain't gonna pay her. I'm gonna tell her that I don't like it. Why do we do stuff like, and then when somebody go upside your head, you get mad? Like, stop doing this to people. Stop bringing the worst out of people. Listen, sweetheart, go strong. I'm from DC like you. Keep running your business, learn from it, grow from it, and also capitalize on it. Make some shirts say, I will beat your A if you don't pay your bills. Do whatever you gotta do. But capitalize on this moment, pay your bills, or you're gonna get a breakdown. Change the words, do what you gotta do, but you can learn from this moment. And I think you can gain monetization from this moment too if you do it right. And I hope somebody takes her under their wing and has this young girl to keep going and keep going forward. Because again, to have her business at this young age, guys, we got to give her kudos. We got to give her kudos.
Yeah, yeah, she did drag her. Good night.
Did you see? She,
I'm looking at her right now, like she literally dragged the dog heck out of that girl.
Yeah, poor baby, the 50
And
year
poor,
old.
no, yeah, I do want to. I second everything you said. But yeah, there's lessons. Don't leave, like you said. That story you just said about the person braiding the hair, and I'm gonna tell I ain't paying for it. I don't like it. Like, yeah,
True story.
I don't know if that's just an us thing or whatever, but we gotta completely get out of that mindset. Like I am a person who is completely down for the cause.
Yeah.
We are Black business owners, so I absolutely would love nothing more but than to support Black businesses.
Absolutely.
But it makes it hard if you feel like the clientele is going to be like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If you feel like you're going to have to always be, there's always going to be some sort of haggle or sort of, nah, man, you do the work, I show up, you do the work, just back, when I used to do duties, right?
Yeah.
You call and you ask for, hey man, can I get this until payday? You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. I'll show whatever. Then payday
Right.
come around and then you ain't nowhere to be found. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Then when I got to
Right.
chase you down, then you
Right.
want to turn it around on me like, oh man, you tripping on me over a little something, something. Well, it wasn't that little when you was asking me for it. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to throw that out there. But in relation to this, yeah, consumer, um, if you did something wrong, especially in this case, 15-year-old, you sent it to the wrong person. My apologies. She probably didn't know what to do. She's
Yeah.
probably sent it to the
15.
wrong person
Yeah.
and realized it and didn't know what to do. So she was just probably trying to get out of there. She didn't know what to do. that's where it comes down to. And hey, listen, maybe her mom or dad did tell her this and she did it anyway.
Right.
But this is a time, if you have been telling them, that you reiterate, just like you said, hey, pay your fare.
Right. Right.
If they didn't get it, hey man, I sent it to this person. I can try and see if I can get it back, even if you don't have it. Sitting there talking about it, that's the hey, I'm gonna be stand up about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Yeah.
gonna try and run. I ain't gonna because that's what makes you look bad.
Yeah.
Especially like if you said, "Oh, girl charged it anyway." It's just kind of one of them things. So, on that end, and then unfortunately, I I hope she is young to where hopefully it doesn't. Um, that's my hope. She's been owning her business since 15 and she's 18.
Yeah. Because she's
Yeah,
super
I
young.
hope it doesn't
Yeah.
strife her. I hope there's not a bad mark on her. That's the hope. But yeah,
She's going to show up for it.
yeah, I don't, it's funny. Like, what do you do? Invest in security, which is more money out of your pocket. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things.
She's getting death threats too. I'm glad you brought that up, guys. She's getting death threats. She's getting threats. People are coming after her. Like she's eight. How well did you handle conflict at 18?
How well did you handle conflict at 38?
Right. Exactly.
Let alone 18.
Yeah, I feel
When a
so
brother was
bad.
38, I was still learning conflict resolution
Yeah,
skills. Like, look, come on now, let's keep it a buck,
that's
especially
what I'm
when it comes
saying.
to
Yeah,
us, because we quick to be hot headed. I'm saying us on purpose because, as
absolutely.
Lisa has described herself,
Yeah,
I ain't no need for both of us coming on here talking about how hot headed we are. Like,
right.
listen, like I
We had to
understand,
learn. Yeah, we had to learn.
but yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Bless her.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, yeah, just it's unfortunate. But like I said, death threats, don't think it's worth all that. Um, could have a black eye. That would be unfortunate if she had a black eye on her business. Like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah,
she's out here, she's 15, owning a business, whether she comes from a broken home or the best home in the
right,
world.
right.
15 owning a business, you've been owning a business for 3 years and you're 18 years old. Like, if you own your business for 3 years, you're supposed to be 27 or 30. Like, you own your
Absolutely.
business for 3 years and you're 18, like in your
18.
legitimate business, like, and like you said, post-traumatic stress. So just, it was unfortunate on all sides. Learning lessons for everyone.
I agree. And I
She
don't
did
know if she's
drag her though. I
licensed.
mean, she drug her. I mean, good
She did.
Lord.
And I don't know if
Good
she's
Lord.
licensed. Yeah, I don't know if she's licensed. That might hurt her. So she's if she's not licensed, she's probably gonna have to go to school real quick to get licensed because I don't think you can get licensed at 15. So I don't know if she was just doing braids. I know she does ponytails. So she's gonna probably have to be forced to go get licensed if she's not licensed already. So
And then how does that work if because they saying she's getting charged with assault? So I just hope
yeah,
everybody's okay. I just hope
yeah,
everybody's
yeah,
okay. I hope the girl that got drugged
yeah,
is okay. I
yeah.
hope she's okay. Black business owner, like death
Young black
threats, who are
business
they coming
owner.
from? I mean, this is a black community issue, so that means the death threats are coming from us. Good Lord,
Absolutely.
who's more harder than us than us?
That's
Come on, man. Like,
yeah.
God dang, this don't get old to y'all? Like, never giving us a break? Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's why I hope she doesn't give up. If anything, just move your shop somewhere else, sweetheart. DC people, I would have to say DC, Maryland, Virginia, DMV, where I'm from, we're pretty forgiving. And so yeah, it's just really sad. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. Unfortunate news, guys. 1,300 Fed Gov employees were laid off due to the cuts. I literally saw a man on TV crying, and you don't see that very often where men show emotion publicly. Although I'm here to tell you, women, we don't look at y'all any different if you do. But it really broke my heart to see that the Department of Education laid off 1/3 of its workforce. And then the Department of Homeland Security also cut staff, including probationary employees, in addition to letting people go. 75,000 federal Fed workers have accepted buyout. So they've taken packages. Aunt Weil and I have been in that situation where we worked for a call center that was coming to a close. And, many people took packages, many people got opportunities to go to other places, and many people, decided that, I think I want to start something different. So my prayers out to those employees. If you just kind of put yourself in those shoes, you have your bills set, right? And you're ready to pay them, and then this happens. So the only thing that I want to tell everybody is start using grids. And what I mean by grids, listen to these gurus on YouTube about saving your money. There's the daily method. So in other words, if you want to save $4,000, you get a grid and you say, on this day I do $5, $10, $1. It's like a whole little grid. They have apps for it. It's really awesome. But I think for me, and wow, I want to let everybody know economically things are just different. We don't know what's going to happen. And so it's better for us to just save as much as possible. And then the last point, I would say I wouldn't buy any major purchases right now until all of these changes have went into effect that the P is actually doing at this time. And then we can kind of see when the market kind of levels out how things look. So
I yeah. I just want some light shed on the purpose of all of this. What's the bigger picture? Uh, I would love to know that. I
well,
would love to know that.
it's
Um,
yeah, it's supposed to be this. There was a
I mean,
group brought in without me saying the name, but it was a group brought in that is, ran by the person who has a social media platform. And I'm not trying to say his name out of respect. It's just YouTube had these rules and stuff, and you want to protect yourself from monetization. So the person that has that social media, they were put in place to do things to help from a more efficient, financially economical growth for us. So that is the reason supposedly for it. I don't, that's what it's supposed to be for.
but for what? And what I mean by that, and this obviously this is just rhetorical. We don't even have
Yeah.
to spend
Yeah.
lots of time on because we've been talking about this the whole time. Nothing has changed. In fact, it's more infuriating. Um, but like the the Department of Homeland Security, there's this initiative
Mhm.
to make things more home based, if you will. But you cut the Department of Homeland Security. Just doesn't. I don't understand. Um, I do not understand, guys. I want to talk freely, but like Lisa said, we're trying to adhere. And if we say certain things, and I don't know if I have the wherewithal to go off again and maintain my uh, censorship. So it is very infuriating. Again, this is not a side thing. I hope you guys are realizing this more and more. This is a human thing. And
Mhm.
so, everybody who's affected, my heart truly goes out to you. Truly, truly, truly. Um, if you are on another side and you feel betrayed or whatever, I feel for you. I truly do. These institutions that are being cut were, again, supposed to be the safest ones. That's, I'm sure, the reason you went down that path.
Yeah.
Um, could you imagine? Like, that's the reason you went down that path. It's something you probably wanted to do, and the stability of it all, and how you could live your life. And hey, these people are you don't have to be in the military to serve. To serve the country we live in. So I it's infuriating. My heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
Like Lisa said, hey, we're gonna have to be mindful of your chippers. You have to be mindful of your chippers because we have no idea. All these things are happening. We don't know why. It seems very top heavy, in my opinion. I'm trying to figure out where all of us, again, this is not a side thing. This is literally all of us. I'm trying to figure out. That's why I'm wearing the red shirt today. If you paid attention last week, I wore the blue shirt. That's on purpose. It's represent. It's it's all of us. We all in this. You know what I'm saying? That's why I did that. This is strategic in here.
Nice. I'm wearing just
Um,
a dog shirt because I love
and then the
dogs. Dogs
dog,
are my
because
favorite.
hey, listen, because it's a dog, got dogs in my face, because you got to be a dog to survive. And what we talking about?
Be a dog catcher, dog catcher.
Yeah, yeah.
Do the dog catcher. Dog, do the dog catcher, dog, do the dog catcher, dog. Ooh, how must I be like that? How must I chase the cat? Nothing but the dog in me. Nothing but the dog in me. Bill bow wow, yippee yo, say bow wow wow.
So
Woo,
yeah.
boy.
So
We
yeah,
musicians. So if the music, you say a word, we gonna probably sing to it, okay?
um yeah, y'all. So, hearts goes out. Get mindful of your chippers. Have something in the reserve tank. Um, and be mindful. Be
Yeah,
mindful of your chippers. Be
yeah,
mindful of what you're standing behind, what you
right.
stand up on, and what you stand up for.
Right. And we might have to do a show on another platform, maybe somewhere where we can go into a little bit deeper. We are trying to adhere to the parameters of YouTube, but we might have to jump on a Patreon or something where we can go into a little bit deeper because we do like to have these conversations. And so we feel a little stifled that we can't go into a deep level. So we're going to work out that from a business strategy and see if maybe we can jump on another platform where we can go a little bit deeper with it. But we get it, we understand, and we stand with those who have lost. So, guys, people are trying to say Beyonce tickets are not selling. I do not believe that. So, the beautiful Beyonce has shows in London, Los Angeles, New York, Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, and my home, DC. We ready to see you, Beyonce,
Chocolate
DC. We
syrup.
ready to see. Boop, 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 boop.
Chocolate
We are ready. I'm
syrup.
a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva.
Chocolate syrup.
So they're saying basically some of the tickets are not selling, but other people are saying the tickets are selling. And I think the difference is coming from, again, economically, things are just looking a little bit different, perhaps. Some people are saying also some people are not purchasing the tickets because they really didn't feel the Cowboy Carter album per se. They were wishing that she would come out with Act Three and combine them, but I'm sure that would have been a lot on her body, on her family. So she's just kind of breaking it down. She did Act One with the Renaissance. It's like, we're going to do Act Two now with Cowboy Carter, where everybody, we're going to walk in with our big old, cowboy hats and this ain't Texas. Woo, we're going to be all in. Yeah, I told you, I said, you ready to get all tickets for Beyonce? He said, yeah, no, no.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
take somebody else. Nope,
yeah,
nope,
yeah,
I'm good.
yeah,
You
yeah,
probably know it's such a girl show.
yeah.
So I'll probably have to take my mom or somebody else with me to go. But they're saying it's not selling, but other people are saying that it is selling. But if it's not selling, I think it's just right now the timings are a little bit different. Also, I heard the tickets were very, very high, but some of the tickets, if you look in the venues now, they have dropped down, they have lowered. So that is a indicator that maybe it's not selling completely out. And then she's not doing as many shows as she did last time from a Renaissance standpoint, too. So you're going to probably have some high nights where it's going to be sold out, some light nights. And that happens, guys. Like it happens in business. You know what I mean? It doesn't take away from her and who she is as an artist. But I just think economically, kind of what we just talked to you guys, put your money in the bank. And you really got to weigh yourself and say what's most important. And I just talked to my boyfriend Julian about that because he want to go drop it like it's hot. 2 parties in one day. Why are we going to 2 parties in one day? Where we could have used our money, our gas, and Wow knows about this because he's like, oh, you need to just get. I was like, no, I don't. Like, y'all are not thinking, right? That's money, that's time, all of those types of things. I just really think that we need to be wiser about what we're doing just until things level out. We're not saying forever. So I think also some of Beyonce fans like myself, we're kind of just thinking like that, like we got to just let things level out. But I also believe too, you do need to have a fun account where you do go and enjoy yourself, right? It might have to be within budget, but to not have no fun and to work and do like it just no go. And that's why when I'm in Vegas, like, I hit up some slot machines, having some fun. We have to do that too as well. But I think set out a budget for it so that you can actually do it. But shout out to my girl Bay. I don't care what y'all say. I'm gonna
Yeah, I don't know.
be
Like,
woo.
yeah.
Yeah, get it
Nita
down,
just got.
down,
She just
down.
told me the other day she was going because one of her best friend, one
Yeah,
of her friends had an extra ticket. It's
yeah.
like, yeah. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see B in
Woo! In a row. Gonna take it to the whole now. Woo! I'm sorry.
I haven't had a chance to see B in concert. I actually would like to,
Woo! You should.
but on this one, for me, like I say, for me, this is no I root
You
for
and
it. Like
Julian suck.
Beyonce represents
Yeah.
the cause. So for me, on this particular one, I was like, for the ticket prices, because I know her prices are expensive, well
Mhm.
deserved. You've earned the right to charge a mortgage, because that's what you're charging. You're charging people mortgages. Is what you're
Right.
doing. You people are saying themselves, we're paying double mortgage this particular month to
Right.
go to your show, and you have put in the work. You are literally one of the top 3 or 4 biggest names in the world, in the
Yes.
world of entertainment, especially music. And so, hey, no diss there at all. Like I say, B represents. So I'm not mad. Personally, yeah, for this one, like if it was a regular one, I'm like, okay, before she stops, I do want to see her. But for the Cowboy Carter, yeah, I'm gonna go, like, yeah. But I mean, they gonna be. It could be tricky because it is the Cowboy Carter, and a lot of people for the price are probably saying, I want to see B. It's gonna be Cowboy Carter related. I'm sure she's gonna have to do some other stuff, right? Um, but if it's a Beyonce concert and she's coming out doing the thing, she's coming out doing the thing.
Right.
So Cowboy Carter, but like I said, hey, Neva was looking at she was looking at little boots, and she was looking at little jean suits, and she's already preparing for her little entrance. So, but it is definitely a female centric. Yeah, the Cowboy Carter, that's hey, go on, do your thing type thing. So hey, listen, I don't, not selling. We'll see. I think, um,
Put your hand down.
yeah, yeah, that stuff, that's a slap. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
Love
happens.
you as you ain't figured that out yet. All right,
Yeah.
guys, let's.
And also, I got to give a
Oh,
quick
here we
shout out here. Because this is why I always will give a little to be, because first black woman to headline Coachella X, Y, and Z, and she came and did it though. She brought the bands, she brought all that. She did full scale on that.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm always gonna give, that stuff matters. Like, because there's a lot of people who are in those
All y'all
positions.
ain't stopping me. All y'all mother beat it and beat it and beat it. All y'all mother ain't
A lot of
stopping
people
me.
in that
All
position wouldn't do
ain't
that.
stopping
Like,
me.
and she did that. Like, even Tina, her mama, was telling her, I don't know if you should. And to make that decision to do that is, what I'm saying, it's kind of like, it's in the spirit of like the Super Bowl, kind of like, hey man, look, I'm gonna do it like this, and
Right.
I'm taking this responsibility to do this. I'm staying here with it and bringing this to the stage. So anyway, I just wanted to shout that out because I don't know if that's ever gonna come up again. So I just wanted to give that shout out to her for doing it like that.
Formation. How about that? All right, guys. The beautiful Dolly Parton drops a new song in honor of her new husband's passing, unfortunately. Remember, they were married for 60 years. Do you know she moved to an area, went to go wash her clothes, and saw her husband, and they were together ever since? Can you? Well, that's love. You move there a week later, you meet him, and y'all together for 60 years. See, y'all be getting it wrong. Y'all be doing all that. We got to date for 2 years and we got to figure it out. And then we got to follow this rule. And then I got to see what your net worth is. Like, no, is this my person?
Hey,
Is this my
hey,
person? Figure it out. And
can it be that it was all so so
He gonna
simple
get me back. He gonna
then.
sing in my segment now. I
Began to see that it was all
know
so simple
it
then.
was.
It
So
was.
is
Hey,
it?
listen, 60 years ago, listen, let's keep it a thou wow. 60
Yeah,
years ago, Dolly was popping.
I think she's still beautiful.
What you mean? That's what I'm
I
saying. So let
I
alone
think she's
60 years
still
ago.
beautiful.
What you
Excuse me,
mean? She's
guys. Don't
still
mean to do
walking out
top
here.
house, but I'm Dolly.
Attention.
I'm Dolly. I'm Dolly right now, just a little thicker, but I'm Dolly.
Remix.
Okay,
Remix. She's
Jolene,
still at attention. Ooh.
Jolene, get away from
Yeah.
my man if you want.
Hey, man,
Okay,
listen. So
and
60 years ago, shoot. Hey, 40 years ago, 30 years ago. Hey, look, 9 to 5, what was that? Early 80s? Dolly was slapping.
love you.
Shoot.
Oh, I'm
Don't get
singing
it
Whitney
twisted
version. I'm
now.
supposed to be singing Dolly's version.
Hey, hey, don't
All
get it
right,
twisted.
guys. So her song, it is called "If You Haven't Been There." Oh, yeah, I heard the song and it was beautiful. It sounded like her voice was cracking at the beginning of it. And I don't think it was her cracking like bad. I mean, bad, just like she was ready to cry. The song is just beautiful. And this is the moment. I should have made this our inspirational quote, but she basically states, I would not be who I am if you were not there.
Mm-mm.
This song is so beautiful. I wish it came out before Beyonce did Cowboy Quarter because I would have loved to hear Beyonce do this. Can you
Mm.
imagine if you don't think Beyonce is where she at because of who Jay-Z is, you's a
Mm.
blind fool.
Facts.
Okay?
Actual
Likewise, if
factuals.
you think Jay-Z is where he at because it ain't had nothing to do with Beyonce, you's a blind fool. Who is
Facts.
on your path helps you to become who you are. I'm like, this song is so beautiful, guys. It is such a beautiful song. And she's like, if you haven't been there, who would I be? I mean, it's have you heard it yet?
No, I have
It's
not.
gorgeous.
I'm
It's
gonna go
gorgeous.
listen to it.
It's a and it's short, it's cute, it's to the point. Obviously, it's very sad, but I mean, let me just talk about Aunt Wow. The time I have seen him go through relationships, I have seen him at his worst and at his best. I have seen him grow into another level of a man based on the queen that he's with now,
Mm.
right?
True.
And
Facts.
I know he would not be where he was at if she had not been there. Vice versa, she's also probably growing in
Yeah.
areas because he was there. I know for myself, being with my amazing partner, I am right doing what I am now because of him. Because
Right.
I know at the end of the day, he's got my back, supporting me. Like, honey, I love you. I got you. Do what you got to do. If
Right.
you can find love, she found this love. I think it wasn't even a week, guys. When you got love like that, I know we think the grass is greener on the other side, but their love story is simple. You want some information on love, go listen to Dolly Parton's story about how she met her husband. They didn't have all these dumb rules. And we even shared the story with you guys how her husband did not go to one award show after one. Most artists would the relationship would be over. But Dolly was trying to teach us something. You don't love people for who you want them to be. You got to love people for who they are.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there are other things that he provided for her. He provided for her after 1 week, guys, and they fell in love. Listen to
Can
that.
it be that it was all so simple then? It was simple then. I mean, it was simple then. And not even that it was just simple then. It was simple because of everything you just said. Because as convenient as it is for us to be able to just jump on here and then put this out and hopefully reach however millions that we're going to reach
Right.
and all the things, there's a lot that has gotten diluted in this process because a lot of people who aren't as pure as Lisa and myself, you watching that's pure, others, all the things, right? You give this power to a lot of people who don't share the same. And
Mm,
so a lot of that agenda has now flooded the norm,
mhm.
right? That's why certain women get promoted in a certain way, right? Um, and again, I'm a man. I love to see, hey, don't get it twisted. I mean, showing skin and all these kinds of things. Who, hey, listen, I'm a man who loves beautiful women. So
Right.
that's wonderful. But also, just in that, there's also been a priority shift also.
Yeah.
Like Lisa said, he
Yeah.
didn't want to go to any award shows. Today, that's the topic of discussion.
Ooh.
Why did such and what did them not get along? He didn't want to go to any award shows. And you have to come to the award shows to see me on the red carpet, to see me. And that might not, obviously, it wasn't as important to Dolly.
Right.
Because in those days, probably just wasn't as important. The
Right.
person he was there was probably more important. Love them person for who they are. And if that person works for you and aligns for you, it works. We can always think the grass is green on the other side. Listen, I'm the luckiest man on planet Earth. I say it every time. I will continue to say it. I say it to you. I say it to her. I say it to anyone. Um, with that said, to say this ain't been without work is a lie.
Absolutely.
Both sides, right?
Absolutely.
Both sides. So it is easier to think the grass is greener on the other side. You know what I'm saying? At times, like, hey, man, listen, woo, 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 because what you think is, what happens is, and I've had to check myself, and I've had to bring this up too. What you think is you can go get somebody who may replace the couple of things that you may want differently.
Yeah.
You may get somebody who can replace those things, but in your mind, you're still thinking that that person still has all this other stuff that you already have.
Absolutely.
So you can go get somebody who can replace these couple of things, but they may not have the other 98 things that you already have.
Right. Right.
Absolutely. Right. So then it's like, oh, yeah, well, this person does this person does that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But they may not have the other 98 things that this person already has. Number one. Number two, especially, and if we were on another platform, I'd really get explicit in this only to express my point. But my point being is especially if there is that spark there. Now, if there's not that spark there, then hey, I'll be the first one to say, hey, listen, don't, you know, I've had to have this conversation with a couple people, men and females, but like with one of my guys, you know, from the outside, I'm like, yo, why not this? This person's cool, X, Y, and Z. Why not? And finally, you know, he was like, yeah, man, but I'm not into her that way. Everything you're saying is true, all the things, but I'm not into her that way. And to say I've never felt like that would be a lie. There's been people I've been like, oh my God, even, you know, because as you evolve, again, I don't like to say getting older, as you evolve, you also realize thinking somebody is attractive is different than being attracted to them. It took a while for me to realize that. My whole trajectory changed once I realized that.
Yeah.
Like thinking somebody is pretty, it doesn't mean I'm attracted to them. Saying someone's attractive, oh, she is extremely attractive. I was just having this conversation with one of my guys the other day where one of my great friends came up. And, you know, he was like, oh, this and that. I'm like, she's gorgeous. She's beautiful, X, Y, and Z. And he was like, nothing. I was like, I was never attracted to her that way.
Right. Yeah.
Just wasn't never attracted to her that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was one of my homegirls I used to work with. I was never attracted to her that way. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. All the things she's all the things you can think of. I cannot come up with enough physical compliments as far as that. So I'm saying that to say that also has to be there too. If you have that, right? Because it's different if the spark ain't there. If the spark ain't there, I can't help you because I'm a person. I need that. I can't. You know, women are better at that than men are. You know, they can fall in love with the other things and maybe it wasn't there initially and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm not even saying men can't do it because a lot of men, it don't got no face, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
More power to you. I'm not one of those guys. Right. So for me, when I'm looking at that, I got to take that into account. And if that person that I'm with has all that too, along with all the intangibles, then it's just like, okay, if we do go our separate ways, it truly means that we just right now, whatever, maybe we get back, maybe we don't. We just got to go our separate ways. You know, a lot of times we'll go our separate ways and then you'll be with somebody in the next 3 weeks. That's not how it works. Not when you're really in it for a particular reason, right? So I'm saying all that to say with Dolly, she knew it after a week. You know what I'm saying? My parents got married fast. They were married for 52 years.
Right.
Sometimes, you know, and I think it was just easier to know then because you didn't have a lot of traffic. I'm talking about world traffic as far as the universe, vibrations, influences, right? The world was a very hear now, see now kind of deal,
Right.
right? If I saw you, I was beautiful, you were attracted, X, Y, and Z. It was the people around and X, Y, and Z. I didn't hold you up into this TV standard. I didn't have this phone to put up and say, oh, I'm looking at this girl on TikTok and she looks all this kind of stuff, not
Right.
realizing everything is
Temptation.
filtered and all the you right. There's that you set unrealistic expectations. More of us were raised in a household with both of our parents.
Yeah.
So then you got a chance to see realistic examples, right? So now, because a lot of times if you don't grow up with the parents, you'll grow up with these unrealistic expectations from somebody because you don't know what it's like to be in a realistic situation because you weren't a product of it. So now you think this man or woman has to be superwoman or superman. They have no flaws in X, Y, and Z. You notice a lot of times women that grow up in households where the man and the woman was present,
Right.
the guy that she picks most often, not every situation, but if they grew up in a sound household, it'll be. I have three examples right now, like where the woman makes significantly more than the man does.
Yeah. You were talking
Significantly
about
more.
that.
Speaking of DC, one of my favorite couples, one of my best friends on earth, they live in DC. She is a factor. She is a huge deal. She is a strong black queen who he will never. I had to tell him one day because as a man, he was feeling this, oh, I got to do this and that and the
Right.
third. And she doesn't care at all. She just wants your black tail there. She don't care.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because she got a chance to see that example, right? She knows
Right.
what it is. It doesn't matter. She's going to hold you. You're going to be the king of the household. You can
Yep.
stay here and take care of the kids all day. She's going to treat you like she's not going to come. She's going to come in. She's going to lift you up. She's going to serve you up. You're going to occupy this space. It doesn't, because I had to finally tell him, dude, you're never going to catch her. She's too far ahead. And she's only getting bigger. She's only getting better. She's only getting smarter. The job offers are only getting bigger and better, right? Like you're never going to catch her. She holds you in the standard. She allows you the freedom to be a brother that can make these decisions. She holds you high. Just go be held high, right?
Yeah.
But she has that example. A lot of times in the society we live in, if the woman's like that and the man doesn't, then he doesn't meet the standard because he
Right.
doesn't make this, right? And
Right.
then there's a lot of men who say, I don't want to be with a woman who makes more than me because I feel like she's gonna. Well, there's a structural problem there. Like I don't have any problem being with a woman who makes more than me because it ain't gonna change my position,
Right.
right? So it's just these kinds of things. Looking at this story, I know kind of going off in a tangent, but it's all related back to this story from the standpoint of Dolly is 79. They were married 60 years. That means she was 19. Now everybody know at 39, Dolly was partying. Imagine at 19. She was dumb cracking. And they knew each other for a week,
It was very short lived.
however long, and they were together 60
And she had
years.
just moved to another state, and so she just was washing her dirty clothes. And he rode up, I think, on a motorcycle. It's a very beautiful story
And that's what I'm
for
saying.
people to learn. And I think we, yeah, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. We can learn from her story. That's all I'm going to say. So, again, prayers to her family, and just happy that she did get love in this time. I don't think we talked about aviation news yet, right? We got Southwest, American, and Delta Airlines. They are cutting their forecast currently. United is keeping their forecast the same, meaning to say that basically the travel that they anticipated, they're changing their forecast to have it show lower. And this is due to the economy and air challenges that we've been having. So this is around domestic travel, which is decreasing. However, international travel does remain strong. And it's weird because right now, as a flight attendant, we are going into our most busiest season right now. And so again, I'm hoping that travel will level off and people will get out so that we can have that fun family vacation. Kids are going to be out of school, spring break, all these type of things. Be careful on spring break. We haven't shared that story of that young woman that's missing. Maybe we'll talk about that, but be careful on spring break. Don't go, stay with your friends. Don't leave your friends somewhere. Please don't leave your friends somewhere. But I'm hoping that things will go back up and that travel will get level out. But again, try to put that money away.
Yeah, if we ain't got, hey, listen, if everybody losing their jobs, they ain't got money to spend. If they ain't got money to spend, they can't be traveling. See what is
That part,
happening? And
boom.
there it is.
All right.
I had heard that because Southwest is about to start charging for the bags, and I am
They
not listen.
are.
I am a person who flies west, south, southwest. I am a lawyer. You can go look at my points, my rewards, my trip history.
Mm.
I personally, Southwest, if anybody at Southwest watching this and got any kind of anything and any kind of board meetings, you can go look me up. I can go, we can go offline here. I can give you my rapid rewards number. You see how much I use you. And anywhere it leaves out of Long Beach, I'm out of here. I'm on that thing. So
Right,
listen, man, those of us who've been staying with you, I just got off a flight. I'm about to get on another one this weekend. You
I love
understand me?
that.
So I stay on this Southwest. Y'all out here talking about you gonna try. That's the reason y'all listen. Hey man, don't be out here trying to finagle and all that old kind of stuff, man. Somebody need to look out for the people, man. Everybody looking out for the top. And somebody got to look out for the people, man. All this stuff happening, people getting cuts and all this kind of stuff. It's supposed to be for money. For whose? Because all I'm seeing is it going to the top because everybody hoarding it. Now, so somebody Southwest, I'm just saying, now, this is not cool. Now, you over here charging for bags and stuff. This is why you were the hey man. I'm trying to tell you that you out here charging for bags, man. I stay on Southwest, son. I stay. Listen, I didn't even want y'all to listen. Y'all don't even got to get assigned seating because I know that was a topic. I don't even care.
Right, right.
Listen, I don't care. 24 hours. I got my alarm set. 24 hours. I'm gonna check in, make sure I get me an A. You understand me? Huh? To the point where I'm an A-list customer. I didn't even realize it. You know what I'm saying? I just because that's how much I travel with y'all. You can't become A-list on Southwest if you don't travel now. So
Right. I
I'm
was an
A-list
A.
on y'all. So listen, you talking from an A-lister here. I got say in here, mates. Don't be out here getting crazy with the bag charges, man. Don't be out here trying to do $40 and $50, man. You gonna charge a bag, you better charge $10.
Ooh, all right, and moving on. All right, so
15 at the most. Don't get out here getting crazy now.
you guys, if you have not seen it, The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16 has premiered. They got it right. It's an amazing show. Newcomer Kelly did not come to play. She came to slay. She was given 2 Fs about Portia being sad about her husband. Y'all know I talked about last week how I felt so bad. No, no, no. Kelly was like, ma'am, why you take that woman's husband? Ooh. I mean, can you let the show be on for 3 weeks? Kelly said, And come to find out when you watch it, Kelly, she's like this small, real little. She's known for her place called Nana's, which is about the best waffles out there. I cannot wait to go back to Atlanta to get her waffles. Ladina, if you're watching the show, we got to go to Nana's, okay? Let's not make it be in April, especially if I'm getting rid of the bread, though. Okay. But she is known for Nana's, a sister out there doing her thing. But the reason why she's so bitter about it, because a lot of people think Aunt Wilder, she's just giving a storyline. No, she's going through a divorce. And I think her divorce has to do with another woman. So women who have been scorned like that, you get very upset when you hear about a woman taking another woman from, somebody else. And what happened, if you guys don't watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Fallon and Simon Guobadia, who is Portia's husband right now, they did break up, but it was, I mean, I want to say 10 days after you saw Portia with Simon, after Fallon and him had broken up. And you also see footage of Portia being at Simon and Fallon's house, right? So it's just one of those, those rules, right? Men don't want to date certain people that and girl rules. We don't want to go and date a man that we know our friend or acquaintances have already dated, because it can be a little bit, crazy sometimes when you're a good friend with somebody. And Portia and them came over as friends of Fallon. So Kelly, with her little self, honey, that little pint came in swinging, and Portia just looked dumbfounded. Normally, Portia has a comeback, but Portia was like, is that the way you're gonna meet me? I'm like, Portia, if you don't give her, come on, you're an OG. What? But Kelly was like, honey, but whatever. Why are you taking that woman's man? That's why you're going through what you're going through. Is basically what she was saying. And I think a lot of people feel probably the same way, because the relationship came very, very quickly. And now, obviously, it is turmoil. So a lot of people feel like she is getting her bad karma, but I still love Portia. Also, we knew Shamea. Nobody knew Shamea was the real peach. So if you don't watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Shamea has had like guest appearances throughout the show, Aunt Wow, and she's always been Portia's sidekick. Who knew that Shamea had one of the most expensive houses out in Atlanta? It's called Sterling Hall. And when you see the footage of it, your mouth will drop. Who knew Shamea was living like the beautiful black goddess in Atlanta? No, nobody knew she was balling like that. Been married 10 years strong. Has two beautiful children. One of her children are suffering with a medical condition. Again, these are the things that we did not know. She plays so humble in the episodes. Like, she used to always be the twerk girl, that you didn't know that she was balling like that. She's extremely talented, singing, dancing, hosting. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Shamea Black Goddess. And she is in the middle, honey, with the peach. And so for us who have watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta, we're extremely happy to see Shamea kind of get more of a permanent spot, to give her opportunity, to give her a chance to make more money, and for us to see the things that she does. And then hopefully by her being on this show, this can generate more revenue for her. So Shamea, congratulations, sis. They also have two of the OGs back on there. They got Kenya and Cynthia back on there. And for people who have been watching Real Housewives of Atlanta, we love Cynthia. We love Kenya. Come on, y'all. Let's go and bring Nene back on here. Come on, get Phaedra back on here. Come on and get Kim back on here. You know, some of those original people, Sheree, all those original ones, but Kenya already started. You know, Kenya don't mess around. I'm gonna get my check. She already starting to shade a girl for a rock that she has on her finger, but the girl basically said, how you gonna shade me for my rock when you don't even got no ring anymore? Basically trying to shade Kenya because her marriage is divorced. You know, she's going through a divorce right now. So guys, those are some of the updates. This show looked like it's going to be pretty powerful. That was just the first show. These girls are coming in and they're swinging, and they are giving us entertainment, because that's exactly what reality shows are about. So just kudos out to all those amazing women on the show. And I look forward to reporting out on it and talking more about it as the season continues to progress. Anything, or should we go to Diddy? Because I know that ain't you. Let's go on to Diddy. So, guys, this is breaking news. Two breaking news right now. One about Doechii being Woman of the Year, Billboard, people not happy about it. But then also the Diddy tape. News just dropped that tape was edited by CNN, and that also the tape was destroyed. So what that means, this tape may not be used in court. The sequence of events did not happen. They're saying, based on the court documents, that the way that we saw the video, the sequence of events did not happen in that type of way. So this might not be permissible in court now.
You're talking about
the video that was shown, you can't really do anything about it because of the statute of limitations, but they could have tried to use that video in all these assault cases that he has. They could have used this video, but now that this new news have dropped about the video being edited and that the sequence of events have changed, they may not be able to use this as evidence. And so even if it was, I mean, I don't know how much you can change the sequence of you touching somebody with your fist. But dang.
Is this the Cassidy one?
Yeah.
The Cassie, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Cassie one? Yeah.
They're saying that it didn't, well, yeah, I guess. It didn't, the edits, it didn't happen in sequence of events. Sure.
But at the end of the
day, I mean,
that's what I say.
I mean, I know it's past the statute, and again, I'm not rooting for anybody to be in trouble, but I definitely ain't rooting for somebody to get their tail whooped either.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I guess, and sure, legal jargon, right? Yeah. I'm sure there's somewhere in the legalities that may be able to have them deem it as inadmissible. They can search for that. Sure, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. But it still don't mean it didn't happen. Like, that part. I mean, it was very, it wasn't cool. So, it wasn't cool. We'll leave it at that. Interesting though. It's kind of, I don't want to, it's like, if I don't even want to, I'm trying to, let me bring up a fabricated scenario. I don't want to bring up anybody's real scenario, but if something deadly happened, if that particular footage was out of sequence, would that still be inadmissible? It still wouldn't be. Right. Does that make sense? Like, whether it was you show the deadly happened at the beginning, but then you show other parts that happened in between. Did the deadly still happen? It still happened, right?
Right.
I don't know if that person would be able to get off on that. I don't know. I'm not a specialist in law. Who knows? But I'm just saying, like, um, very interesting.
Absolutely. Also, guys, Doechii has been named Billboard's Woman of the Year. Congratulations to her. There are people who are upset about it. They don't feel like she's done enough to even receive this award. But I would have to say, a lot of times that you see people, just like you see us, there's a long history behind us. And so just because we see Doechii who she is now, I'm sure Doechii has been doing many, many things for a lot of years. And finally, those things have put her on top of her game. So at the end of the day, you can't change probably what has happened. So I say, let's embrace it. I say congratulations to Doechii being named Billboard's Woman of the Year.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with her being made Billboard's Woman of the Year. I am surprised from the standpoint of I thought with the Billboard Awards it was based on
Mhm.
movement.
Right, right.
Her album is dope. Like I said, like we said a few weeks ago when I
Yeah, we
talked about
did.
it.
Yeah.
I've listened to it. It's dope. All the things. But I did think the
Hey,
billboards
dude,
were
can you stop walking in our set? Thank you.
yeah,
No.
somebody's knocking on the door.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was about to be like, hey man, if somebody ain't answering, that means we busy.
Exactly. People
But
go
yeah, he
away.
ordered some food, so that's
Oh,
why yeah.
you're
So
like,
I was. I
okay.
no listen, I was about to be like, hey man, we gonna have to y'all about to get some real live. I'm about to go over here and open the door and be like, if you selling something, if you hear me, I'm busy. Uh but yeah, he had to get that
As he
food.
walks
See?
with his bag.
He had to get that
Thank
food,
you for
son.
listen. All Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub people, we love y'all. Because if it wasn't because
Uh,
of y'all, some of us would not eat.
had to
We
get
don't
that
care about
food,
the
son.
show, the set. Dude, I'm about to go get my wings right now. Okay. I've been at work all day. I don't care what you're recording. Another mother, another, my stomach needs to eat right now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you about to blur
yeah.
me out, but you're gonna see me in the background, people.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. You had to get that food,
You gotta
son.
watch
Hey,
this show because we didn't talk so much mess about it.
hey, gotta get that food, son.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I don't that was my only
Yeah, of
again,
course. And
not
that's why people
beefing
are
at
talking about
all.
it.
Not
Yeah,
beefing at all. Do your
yeah,
thing, young
yeah.
queen. Do your thing. Like I said, album is dope. All the things. TDE, shout out to TDE. I always like what TDE does. So yeah, no, nothing there. I was just surprised because I thought Billboard was based on movement. So that was a surprise for me. But again, I'm not beefing at it at all. I was just
Absolutely. Yeah.
surprised. People are such up in arms. I don't understand. I mean, who's up in arms? If it's others, then okay, I can understand. It's this dark skinned black girl, whatever, whatever. She may not be perceived as TV cute or whatever. They may be up in arms. But a lot of times, if it's us that's up in arms, then it's like, again, goes back to earlier, like, come on, y'all. Like, ain't nobody else giving us a break. That don't even mean we can't be real with each other. I
Right.
just think we gotta be wary of how we put out our feedback. Like I said, maybe we need to create a whole nother separate thing where we only have so where we can go in on each other and then present a united front or something because it's just every time I turn around, we the quickest. So
Absolutely.
but I don't have a beef with it. I was just surprised based on what the Billboard isn't like the Grammys. Okay, no big deal. Like none of that
Right.
because that's based on artistry, quote unquote, right?
Right.
Based on those kind of the Billboard is usually based on numbers. So I was surprised at that, but I'm not beefing at it at all. Good for her.
Absolutely. Hey, so let's get into the sports because I know the game is coming on, so we need to hurry up and wrap this
Yeah,
up.
no, we do, we
Game
do, we
is
do,
back
absolutely,
and being fun, and
we
we got
absolutely.
to
So
know what's
speaking
going
of,
on.
yeah,
Let's talk
Kings and
about
Warriors is
sports.
about to come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Big playoff going on right now. Sacktown, step up, represent man, step it up, represent. Hey man, 916 man. It's a Northern California battle. You know what I'm saying? I love Northern
916,
Cali, all that kind of stuff. But today it's 916 man. It's
916,
916 man. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom,
down,
boom. We in the hey man,
916,
916
back, down,
Sacktown, 916
916, back,
Sacktown,
down,
916
916, back,
Sacktown,
down,
916
916,
Sacktown.
back, down. Northern
Yes,
California,
West
Northern
Coast.
California.
West Coast,
Northern California,
West Coast,
Northern California.
West Coast.
Right.
So, um, so we got to get a big win. We lost a couple. I was actually at the game. We lost at the last second to the damn Clippers. And then we came back and got blasted by the Knicks. So I heard a bunch of Knicks talk from Knicks people. So listen, we in a crucial time right now. The Warriors have been clowning ever since they got Jimmy Butler. They're in the sixth slot. We still have action. We're only 2 games behind because there's only 2 games that separate the 6 to the 9 seed. So we got to get this win. And speaking of that, former Sacktown great, still mad we traded him. I understand you didn't feel like he was going to sign. We talked about it on here with De'Aaron Fox being traded. But De'Aaron Fox now at the Spurs is going to undergo season-ending surgery on his left pinky. So that sucks. Now, it definitely would have sucked if he was playing with us and went out, and then we didn't have anybody like Zach LaVine. So, but Victor Wembanyama already went over that. He's already out. So now De'Aaron Fox is out. So that's just unfortunate. Spurs may have had a little shot this year. Both of them could have been healthy. So unfortunate. Greg Popovich, my guy, is already out. So hopefully everybody recovers then. Raiders, we'll see how bad Raiders fans feel about this. Free agent quarterback Gardner Minshew has reached an agreement today to sign a 1-year deal with the Chiefs. Now, we already know who's at the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, so he signed a deal to be a backup. But that pretty much said the Raiders didn't want him, so I don't think the Raiders fans will miss him too much. Speaking of Raiders, Twizzle, my guy, that's his team, along with every other person in Sacramento. Raiders and Niners, baby. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? But I like I like the DMV when it comes to football. I'm with the skins. You understand me?
Boom.
Darius Slay has reached a 1-year fully guaranteed $10 million deal with the Steelers. So he's still in Pennsylvania because, as y'all know, he was just with the Eagles, won a Super Bowl.
Right.
And now signed a deal to go to the Steelers. It would have been cool if he could have played for Mike Tomlin, but they fired Mike Tomlin. Very interesting. That's interesting. That's an interesting one in the sense of they don't care. They get a new N-word next year, baby. You just won a Super Bowl. Great. We don't feel like paying you $10 million. Thank you for your services. Get up out of here. Yeah, it's a dog eat dog. So shout outs to him. He got $10 million fully guaranteed. Shout out. Darius Slay has been in the league for a long time. He's been a premier cornerback for a long time. You're still able to go get $10 million guaranteed. Shout out to you. Good looking. And then LeBron confronts Stephen A. Smith.
What? Somebody confront Stephen Smith? Good.
LeBron confronted Stephen A. during the game. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like after the third quarter, like during the game, like went over and stood up in his face type of stuff. People are having mixed feelings about it. He was pretty much just telling them, don't be talking about my son because Stephen A. has been, talking about Bronny. Well, I see both sides. I see why LeBron's feeling that way. Hey, listen, Bron is pretty much like, you can say what you want about me, but don't be talking about my son. Yeah. So, and even Stephen A. acknowledged that. He said he didn't come at me as a player. He came at me as a father. I can understand that. Stephen A.'s point was, you could have just called me and we could have spoke about it man to man. I would have been on the first flight to LA, but you chose to do it during the game, and that was effed up. He didn't really like that. Everybody knows I got major love for Bron, but I'm objective. I can kind of see where Stephen A's coming from on that. You know what I'm saying?
So he's saying that LeBron shouldn't approach them during the game. They should have talked about that offline.
Yeah, he was saying he's had plenty of he had plenty of chances to come holler at me. You know what I'm saying? Or tell him I need to talk to you, and then like Stephen A. said I would have been on the first plane to come talk to him about it. You know what I'm saying? But he chose that moment. That was the moment he chose. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he didn't feel like you was worthy of having that. And he was in the heat of the battle during the game, and he saw you sitting there, and he came over there and said something to you. Right. He felt like you was coming at him about his son. Stephen A. was like, no, I was really talking about you, talking about LeBron, because LeBron pretty much Bronny is on the Lakers as a result of LeBron.
Gotcha.
Which, you know,
Yeah, gotcha.
probably a lot of truth to that, right? So Stephen A was saying, I was talking about you, like, you know, you're the one doing this to him, kind of thing. Like, he should have had more time. Like, you know, when you're said and done, what kind of hands are you leaving it in? X, Y, and
Mhm.
Z. Feeling like Bronny's confidence has been shaken as a result of this. Could have had more time, but you wanted to play with your son. It's an epic father-son moment. I get it, but you know, he should have did that, and he should be in the G League as opposed to being on the bench with the Lakers. He probably should be in the G League, maybe. I don't know. Um, so I see both sides. I see what Stephen A. saying, but I see what LeBron's saying too. Hey man, don't be coming at my, don't be talking about my son, Mike. And also, I think what LeBron's thing is, right or wrong, right or wrong,
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's right or wrong, to be
Right.
honest with you.
Right.
Everybody knows I got Braun is my guy. Like hey, in every way. Like you know, only bad thing about Braun is he plays for the Lakers, and I'm a Kings fan, and everybody Kings and Lakers know about that rivalry. But even still,
Right.
you know, it's hard for me to root against Braun. So, you know, the Lakers give some sort of love as a result of that because Braun's my guy.
Right.
Pause. But so with that said, I don't. There's no right or wrong, but I think what Braun is doing is pretty much saying, "Hey, man, this form of nepotism has existed throughout the history of this country. Everywhere we look, there's this form of nepotism. Everywhere we look, there's always a good old boys network. Look at all the owners; they all came from some sort of cloth. It's all inside, especially in football. You know what I'm saying? Basketball too, but not as much because basketball's a little more lenient. You know, a little more lenient, all that kind of stuff. But football, oh, it's good old boys. Baseball, oh, it's good old boys network. You know what I'm saying? Football, who's the owner of the Raiders? Mark Davis, who's Mark Davis's dad, Al Davis, right? So I think LeBron's subliminal messaging in this is they've been doing this all these years.
Right.
You know
And
what
who
I'm saying?
doesn't help there? I mean, I would help my family.
Listen,
I
they've
would
been
help
doing
my
it all these
friends.
years. Yep, he probably is here because of me, but they've been doing it all these years. And I have earned the position to be able to do this because he has. I've earned the position to be able to do this. My son is on the Lakers because of me. Yes, you are correct. I have earned that right with all the work that I've put in. At 40, 22 seasons, I'm still top five player. I'm still the face of the league. None of y'all has played as many minutes as I have. LeBron James has played against 40% of the competition in the NBA. Like, come
Absolutely.
on, man. Like, let's.
Absolutely.
So he's earned that, and he has transformed through time. The league was a totally different style when he started. He was one of the best then. It's a completely different style now.
Yep.
He's still one of the best. Nobody's had to go through that transformation like him.
Yep.
So he's earned that right, right?
Absolutely.
Right or wrong. Again, I see both sides. I understand where it's messed up. I understand where it's like, hey man, look, because LeBron's pretty much he hasn't said this with his words, but I know in his thinking and his actions, he's like, dude, they've been doing this for years. I'm
Yep.
exercising my power.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we should do that. I think it's a
Hey,
parent's job to set your child up for success. Now, what your child does with it, it's on him. He can get in the game, but he's going to have to stay in the game on his own merit, his own work ethic. But there was another story, and I sent you an email too that I wanted to talk about in sports. Dwayne Wade opened up I think it was a day ago or whatever about a cancer diagnosis. And I don't know if anybody had heard about that, but
I
it
have not heard about
oh
that.
my gosh. It was like, wait a minute. And I sent you the link to in your email. And I just was blown away. I was like, how did we not know about this? And so basically, his grandfather had a cancer diagnosis. Because I saw the interview, his grandfather had a diagnosis, his father had a diagnosis, and then he was having some trouble going to the restroom. He was feeling some pain and he was like, something's not right. So he made an appointment with his doctor. Oh yeah, here it is. His father was diagnosed with prostate cancer. And so he talked to his doctor about the symptoms that he was having. He had some cramps, some pains, a little bit at a time in his stomach that was hurting him really bad. Like I said, not being able to go to the bathroom. And just really scared because I believe he lost his grandfather. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think his grandfather did die of the cancer. But long story short, there was something actually found there, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just really sad because he was saying how he wanted his father to be there with him going this way. And then when he waked up, he wanted his wife to be there. And what he really, if you guys watch his, I think his interview was on Good Morning America, if I'm not quoting it, but he was just saying, everyone in Aunt Wow, that every day now he lives life a little bit more really engulfed with it after having that experience. And so it just I don't think like you hadn't heard about it. I think a lot of people was not aware of this story. And so I guess I want to encourage people, while Aunt Wild takes a look at that really quick, I want to encourage our men, to do what Dwayne did. If you feel some pain and you know that there's some historical data in your family, that you had signs of things happening, please go get these things checked out. And I think early detection, that's the main thing I got from his story. By him doing early detection, we still have Dwayne Wade, the amazing player, the amazing father, husband, obviously the fashion. I say he's a fashionista. You know what I mean? We won't say nussed up, but he also gives off fashion too as well. We would not have him if he did not have early detection. So thank God that I believe he is cancer free now.
I think that's why because I'm looking at it now that I'm saying, I'm like, okay, I do remember. I seen a highlight, but I didn't go into the story. I think
Yeah.
that's why he brought it up now because he's free. Because he
Yes.
didn't bring it up when D Wade is a huge deal. So
Yes.
if anybody would have known about that, that would have been me. He brought that up late, I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah. Probably so, to kind of get through it and stuff like that. So we just got to really get checked out and stuff like that. So great sports segment, Aunt Wild guys. So our improv challenge. Our scenario situation is, where is my cheese? Let me get our timer set. So if you guys are new to Another Mother, we have an improv challenge we do at the end of the show. We go for 60 seconds acting out this improv challenge, and we want to know from you guys who won the improv challenge. So our scenario is, where is my cheese? And so we are going to start the timer. Also, if you think 60 seconds is not enough, you just let us know. But we're about to go ahead and have some fun. And here we go. So where's my cheese, bro?
It's in your burritos, in your tacos, it's in your chips. It
Dude,
ain't in my pocket.
don't play with me. I'm talking about my cheese. You know, the cheese that I let you borrow. Don't act like you forgot about the cheese that I gave you a couple of weeks ago that you were supposed to get back to me. Where's my cheese?
I told you, I gave it back to you. I just made some lasagna. I made some enchiladas. I made some burritos. That's where your cheese is
Dude,
because it ain't in my pockets.
this is not Marie Callender's. Okay, what I'm saying, this is not a taco truck, and this is not Cinco de Mayo. I'm talking about my bread. Okay, so when I say cheese, we're not talking about Swiss provolone or Kraft or government American. Okay, the cheese that I'm talking about is my money. Where is my cheese?
You want that cheese? Listen, it's in and out, meaning it's in that In and Out burger you can go get with the bread and the meat in it with the fries. You understand me? That's where your cheese is. You understand me? You get out of my pockets, mate. That's what I'm trying to talk about. Your cheese is in and out.
All right, guys. Anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up again. My name is Lisa Renee. You can follow me, official Lisa Renee, on all platforms. I mainly engage with Instagram as well as TikTok, and then YouTube is the platform where I put all my stuff, that majority of my stuff. So I do appreciate if you subscribe here, drop a comment, share if you think this was actually helpful or fun with other people. We really do appreciate it. And then Aunt Wow, tell them about what you got going on and how they can find you.
Ton going on.
He got a cough going on. Hey, somebody needs some emergency. Ooh,
YouTube, The
okay.
Real Ant Wild.
Yes.
Instagram, Ant Wild 3 a.m.
Hey,
Facebook, Ant Wild and Wild.
and guys, we want to thank you so much. Every like, we do not underestimate it. Every view, we do not underestimate it. We started our show early this year. We're going to continue to go strong for all 2025. And so we do appreciate you guys coming to us and utilizing your time on our time platform to watch us and things like that, guys. So we will see you every Friday morning at 9 a.m. in whatever time
In
frame
whatever time zone
actually
you
in,
in.
because it can be different. If you see different times, it's because obviously as a flight attendant, I'm flying at different, time zones. And then, and wow, if you are on the West Coast, you can see his at 9 a.m. if you are on Pacific Standard Time. But guys, we will see you next Friday, same place, same time. God
Like
bless
Kendrick
you.
said, I
Hey,
need some water.
get your coffee, get your tea, and he just got his life. We out. Bye,
Get your
y'all.
water.